Hello. Today we're going to be talking about the outline, the first assignment in the researched argument section. I want this to be as useful for you as possible, so I'm going to walk you through what I actually want from the outline. Now, the beginning of the assignment sheet, if you don't have that next to you, pause me and go print it or bring it up or whatever. Anyway, the assignment sheet for the outline kind of gives you a background on what goes into the researched argument, and then you have your outline template. And that's what I want to focus on here is I want you to basically get a structure down on paper online so that you have something to work from. I'm not making this a dictate, and that means if you have to veer from your outline when you're actually writing your paper, that's fine. This is just a first kind of shortcut so that you have something down on paper so you don't feel so overwhelmed with the whole thing. This is going to be a 7-page paper. Um, and so I want you to have some idea of where you're going with it and what you're going to have to include in each section before you actually get started for things that are going to be, graded and such. So the first thing is this is going to be a discussion board. And so you're going to post your outline to the discussion board, and then you're going to reply to at least 2 of your classmates. And I'll get to what I want you to do with that in a little bit, but that's the general idea here. Okay, so for your outline, the template, your introduction section should be a couple of sentences of explaining your topic. And then your thesis statement, write it out. Okay, your best bet right now of what you're trying to prove in your paper. Remember, you should have at least 3 main reasons for whatever you're claiming in your paper and a refutation. You have to deal with what other reasonable people might say against your argument. Okay, you don't have to deal with the fringe people, but just if somebody is reading this and they're like, well, what about this? Okay, so how do you deal with that? So the introduction, explain your topic briefly, write out your thesis statement, give me a background paragraph, something that somebody who hasn't any background in this particular topic might need to know so that they can move forward and actually follow your argument. Okay, so identify the key sources or quotes you need to go here in note form. Okay, you should have your research and stuff done. You did your annotated bibliography. And so those pieces that you've identified as crucial for your background, that's where they go. So I'm going to use, you're going to have 2, maybe 3 possibilities there. Your first major reason, your best reason for us to agree with you, is there a topic sentence for the paragraph that goes back to the thesis statement a little bit. And again, identify your key sources or quotes that need to go here. Make sure you're doing it in note form. I don't expect real paragraphs here. This is notes, right? This is an outline for you to use when you're actually working on your paper. Another thing I hope this will do for you is show you where you might need to look a little harder or flesh things out a little bit more. So when you get to major reason number 2, same idea. Major reason number 3, same idea. Okay, so those 3 reasons should be your 3 reasons that are already in your thesis statement. Okay, so put those reasons into sentence form for a topic sentence, and then identify what kinds of resources or quotes you might need to have in that section, whether it's statistics or anecdotes or backup or whatever you need to have there. Just make a little note, and it comes from this article. Okay. Make sure that you have your refutation of opposing argument, write out a topic sentence for the key sources, the things that you think a reasonable person might disagree with you about. Now, maybe you have more than one thing that needs to be done. Okay, that's great. Make another paragraph. Okay. And then give a little bit of a conclusion, key points to argue why we should believe you, what's important, why this is significant. So this is basically kind of a condensed version of your paper, but it's also the beginnings of your paper. I want you to have your reasons already figured out, what sources go where, how you're going to use them. And so this is going to be your outline. Now, you're going to have that posted on Blackboard under the proper discussion board. And then once you've completed your outline, um, I want you to go back in and respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Now, I know that peer reviews have been either really easy because you've done your work on time and so has your partner and everything's great, or a mess and stressful because either your partner didn't do their work on time, or you didn't do your work on time, or you posted the wrong thing, or they posted the wrong thing. So we're going to do this like we would do a regular discussion board. You post, you reply to 2 people. Okay. Now, I want you to be a little careful here because I've given you 4 questions that you need to answer um, for your peer. Okay. So you're going to do 2 of those. You're going to do all 4 questions for 2 different people. Pay attention though, before you even get started reading their outline. If they already have 2 responses, pick somebody else. Okay, let's all try to work together on this so that everybody who posts on time gets their 2 responses. Now, if you're not on time, you may have some lag time in how you're going to get responded to. I will try to keep up with things on this and make sure that if you don't get a response in a reasonable time, that I will respond, like a peer review. I've done that for a few people when we get to my partner's just not going to do this assignment kind of thing. And so on here, I want you to do 2, okay, and then move on with your life. But be as helpful as you can to do 2 different ones for people who haven't received one yet. If everybody responds to Sally's paper, then the rest of the class is going to be bumming because they don't have a response. So make sure that you're looking to see whether they've already got 2 responses. And if a couple people end up with 3, I'm not going to count that against you, but pay attention. Okay, try to be helpful with this. And I want it to be useful for you too, so you need to have some of that feedback. This is the only peer review we're going to do for the research to argument because, as I said before, it's a weird thing to do peer reviews, and we're going to hit the first draft a little bit at a weird time in the semester, so I don't want to slow that down at all. Anyway, if you have questions about the outline, you know where to get a hold of me. You have my email. Bye.